Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do increases and decreases. So here I have 3 rows of just single crochets. I'm going to be using single crochets as the example. And I have just finished my very last stitch of the row. I'm going to be chaining 1, and then I'm going to turn my work around. For this side, I'm going to be doing increases. So to start an increase, here is my very first stitch I'm working into. I'm going to stick my hook into the stitch. And I'm going to be crocheting into these V's on the top. And I'm just going to be doing a regular single crochet. So an increase is basically just 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So as you can notice, I did 2 single crochets into my first stitch. So here's the next stitch. And I'm just going to do 2 single crochets into this stitch as well. I know that in my last video I showed you how to do an increase. I figure I might make an entire video on increase and decrease. There's nothing too special about an increase. It'd be the same for like a double crochet. If you were doing increases for a double crochet, you'd do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. The same goes with triple crochet and so on. But you will notice that because it's an increase, what's happening is it's doubling. So in my first 3 rows, I just did 15 single crochets in every single row. And for this 4th row, since I'm doing increases, at the end of this round, you'll see that there are going to be 30 single crochets at the very end because it's doubling. So here I am finishing the round. And you can kind of like see the increase. Here is what the increase row looks like. It's a lot tighter since there are a lot more stitches in each stitch. You can also notice from like the ends, it kind of points out. And if you continue to do increases, it's going to keep pointing out. So for the decrease, here I finished my round. I'm going to chain 1 and flip my work around. I am still using single crochets for this example. I'm going to find my first stitch right here. And I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull it through the stitch. Now I have 2 pieces of yarn on my hook. I'm going to stop here. This is where it's different. I'm going to go into the next stitch. And I'm going to yarn over again and pull it out. Now you should have 3 pieces of yarn on your hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 pieces. So that is a decrease. So to show you again, I'm going to my next stitch, yarning over, pulling it through. Now I have 2 pieces of yarn, going to the next stitch, yarn over, pulling it through. Now I have 3 pieces of yarn, and now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 pieces. So again, I'm going into my next stitch, yarning over, pulling it through, and then into the next stitch, yarning over, pulling it through, yarning over, and pulling through all 3 stitches. A decrease is pretty simple, and what it does is the complete opposite of an increase. It's decreasing. So in the previous round, they were all increases. So there was a total of 30 stitches. However, for a decrease, since we're technically kind of combining 2 stitches into 1, in this round, it's going to decrease and turn it back into 15 stitches. I personally like the decrease a lot more because it uses up a lot less yarn and it's not as time consuming as the increase. And for the decrease, we're basically kind of just shrinking everything, if that makes sense. So I am finishing my last decrease. And because there's an uneven amount of stitches, I'm just going to be doing a regular single crochet into the last stitch. Since a decrease calls for 2 stitches and there's only 15 stitches in this, it's not going to be enough. But it's fine since this is kind of just for practice and to show you guys. You'll notice that this is kind of more loose because it's decreasing, so it has less stitches than the previous row. And you will also notice that for the decreases, it decreases. Since the increases go out, decreases will kind of shrink it back in. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video to be pretty useful. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more crocheting tutorials. Thank you guys so much for watching.